Hello and welcome to Pick a Card Palace. In today's Pick a Card reading, we will be answering the question, how do they currently feel about you? For this reading, we have three options. This is option 1, this is option 2, and this is option 3. Now let me hold these up to the camera so you can get a better look at them. Okay, so for option 1 here, we have the Witch from Hansel and Gretel. For option 2, we have Goldilocks from Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And for option 3, we have the Tailors or Weavers from The Emperor's New Clothes. Wish this would focus better. Okay, so cast your gaze on these cards and make your selection. Once you have, you can scroll down to the description box where you will find links taking you directly to each of these readings. Okay, now I'm going to let you look at these cards a bit more and choose which one you want to go with before we get started. Okay, so if you chose the Witch from Hansel and Gretel, this will be your reading. Now, I'm going to shuffle and lay out all the cards before I start talking. So if you would like to skip directly ahead to the reading, just go back down to the description box and there will be links there taking you directly to the beginning of the reading for option 1. Otherwise, you can just chill with me here and watch me lay out these cards. It's going to be kind of quiet, but you know, I think some people actually like this part. So if you're one of those people, enjoy, and I'll see you at the reading. Okay, so group 1, for those of you who chose the witch from Hansel and Gretel. Now, I'm not going to tell the whole story, hopefully. Sometimes I end up doing it even though I don't mean to. But for those of you who are somehow not familiar with Hansel and Gretel, I'll try to make it really succinct. This is basically a fairy tale about two children who get tangled up with a witch living in a gingerbread house in the forest, and she decides that she wants to eat them, so she tries to kill them, but happily it does not work out in her favor, and instead the children outwit her and they end up killing her. Okay, I'll just leave it at that for now. So the fact that you chose this card here, this witch, is indicating to me not that your person has bad intentions towards you, but instead that your person, at least currently, this is their current energy, they feel like you could be harmful to them. Now, before you freak out, I don't mean this in a I'm gonna kidnap you and cook you in my oven type of way. This is more of a the song that's coming to mind for me here is "I Put a Spell on You," and who sang that? I'm gonna link the links. I'm gonna put links in the description box of this song. Let me take note of that. You can go listen to it if you are so inclined. But yeah, I put a spell on you. For some reason, I'm thinking it's Roberta Flack, but we'll see. Anyway, that song is about someone who is kind of witchy, really, actually. I mean, it's not that the person is definitely a witch. It's more so that the person believes in the power of spells and incantations and being able to control the elements and control other people's feelings, perhaps through supernatural means. The lyrics basically go, "I put a spell on you 'cause you're mine." Nice and charming, isn't it? But anyway, so this person who you have in mind, group 1, feels like you have cast a spell on them, and they feel like you are controlling them, whether you actually are trying to or not. I mean, I don't know. That may or may not come through in this reading. I don't know if you've done any spell work on this person or anything like that at all, but this is how they feel. This is their perspective. So right or wrong, this is what they think at this time, or rather I should say how they feel at this time about the effect that you have on them. They don't understand it, and there's some kind of powerful force, some powerful unseen force that they believe may be at work. And the reason they believe that is because it's spooky to them. Okay, it's not your ordinary type of feeling in a romantic context, at least not for this person. This person maybe is not in the habit of becoming totally obsessed with someone or longing for them whenever they're not there and not feeling all right unless they get to talk to them, or analyzing what was said the last time and what was done the last time that you met up or that you spoke, playing it over and over in their heads, being obsessive. They're not used to someone maybe mattering so much to them, and so it is concerning to them. And they think, well, the best way to explain this or figure out why this is happening is maybe that this person literally has some kind of occult power over me, some kind of supernatural ability to hook me in. That's very interesting, group one, and I dare say kind of appropriate for the season, is it not? I mean, at the time I'm recording this video, it is early October. Of course, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you find it, it's still valid, but that is kind of interesting to me that this card came out today. You know, because I was surprised to see it. Actually, I was a bit worried at first that it was that you were looking like you know, maybe not such a nice person to the person you have in mind. But that's not the case. The case is just that they seem rather consumed with their thoughts and feelings about you, and they don't know why, other than to blame it on that voodoo that you do. So, okay. Let's see what else we can find out here about how your person is currently feeling about you. So we have here your ex. Oh, you're seeing someone new already? Wow, that's great. Great. Really great. I'm so happy for you. Okay, so I think that this is ironic. Let me see if you can see this more closely. I got to figure out how to get things to focus on my camera. Oh, there we go. I think it has to do with the lighting. But anyway, let's not talk about my technical issues. So your person may very well be an ex, actually. Or at least they're acting like an ex who you're not mooning over. And they come to know that, and they are disappointed. They want to pretend like it's okay, you know, they just want to be happy for you and all that, but maybe not so much, because of what I said before, that they feel like you got this hold over them. And if they perceive that you are okay, or that you are moving on, or that you could take them or leave them, this obviously has them, you know, in this energy of some distress, especially because, you know, they see, oh, well, maybe I don't really have a chance with this person if they've already moved on, if they've already forgotten me, or if they just don't act like they're bothered. In the case of people who are watching here where this is not your ex, because it doesn't have to be your ex, but since your ex comes through in the card very clearly, for some of you watching, this may very well be an ex, and you may very well be wanting to know how, check in and see how they're feeling about you. So let's continue here. All right, so we have the enemy. Oh, that's interesting that card would come up. Ah, desperate with jealousy. Ah, you can see this third party action here, I hope. Like I said, I wish my cards would focus better. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. And we have money. Here. Well, anyway, I hope you can see this picture. This is getting crazy. There we go. All right, let me see what's on the bottom of the deck here before I say anything. Okay. We have Legaretza. That might be playfulness. I think that's what that means. Okay, so clearly this message of triangulation is coming through again here in these cards, because I mean, we literally have an enemy, and this card can often come out when there is a third party, okay, a romantic third party. And then we also here in the middle of this row, we have desperate with jealousy, and this is clearly, again, this is clearly showing three people. And you got these two people here smooching, and this other person looking outraged in the background. I want you to see this. I always get a giggle out of this card. If I can get it to focus. One of these days, I'm gonna learn how to do it. Okay, there. It was doing so well. Well, anyway, I hope you got a chance to kind of see. I think it's my lighting, honestly. Anyway, this person, just take my word for it if you can't see the card clearly. Got to work on my lighting. Um, yeah, this person is outraged about this. About, these two carrying on right in front of them. So it may be that you actually are, maybe for more than a few of you, this is actually about a third party type situation or a quasi third party situation. And what I mean by that is the person on your mind, who may be an ex or not, seems to believe that there's someone else in the picture with you, and they are upset about it. Yeah, they're upset about it, especially since that would mean you don't care for them like they care for you. You're not hung up on them like they are on you. So it seems that this person here is scheming in their mind as to maybe how they can get a foot in the door with you again. If this person is a past person, if this is an actual ex or someone who you're in no communication with right now, for those of you who actually are in communication with this person, they're still trying to hatch some kind of plan to get close to you and interrupt this, whatever this is that they think is going on between you and somebody else, or at the very least to get you to see that they are the one you should want to be with. Instead of this other person, or whether they're real or imaginary, like the person on your mind here, who we're talking about, thinks they need to get rid of the competition somehow. I don't see them, though, at least not so far in this line, making some kind of soul-bearing confession of their deepest feelings and emotional landscapes regarding you. It seems more like they want to just kind of, throw a monkey wrench in any plans that you might have with someone else by doing something probably kind of childish or silly, or yeah, I don't know. It's kind of an immature type energy here. It's like, as bothered as they are by their deep feelings of longing for you, maybe, at least according so far to this line, their plan is not to do something that dramatic to show you how they really feel. It's more so, like I said, I feel more like games or something, just kind of childish, as I said. We'll see what else comes out as we go on. So let's move on to the next row here. Find out more about how your person is feeling about you. So we have meaty, substantial, weighty, heavy duty. I'm going to read that, I think, instead of what's on the opposite here. But you know what? I actually think it might be relevant, so we're going to read both. Let's flip this over here, and you will see it says cold-blooded, cruel, heartless. Well, maybe you won't see. Gosh, I'm so upset about my lighting. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so it says cold-blooded, cruel, heartless, reptilian. Well, isn't that charming? So again, with the reptilian thing, I was actually going to say something earlier about shape-shifting. That word actually came to my mind, but it didn't really make sense at the time. And now here we have reptilian, like literally. So I'm not saying your person thinks you're, a reptile person. I don't know if you ever heard of this. If you are at all familiar with various extreme conspiracies, this is kind of way out there. But there are people who believe that the elites in the world are not actually people, but they're some kind of alien reptilian hybrid. They are pretending to be human. And interestingly, I think one of the terms they use to describe these folks is that they wear meat suits, which gives me it reminds me of Lady Gaga, interestingly, because you know she did that one time. She wore a meat suit. Uh, I don't know if you remember. Go look it up if you don't remember that. But anyway, I don't know if Lady Gaga has anything to do with any of this at all. Though, did she sing a song called "Caught in a Bad Romance"? Was that her? Uh, because maybe that is relevant. But anyway, um, yeah. So this person does feel like you are not someone to be played with, even though it seems like that's kind of their plan right now, is to do something silly and childish, kind of to get your attention towards them and away from the other person. Don't know how heavily invested they are in doing something real to really get you back, actually. But they do believe that you, though, you're not a fly by night. You're not a casual fling. You're not, oh, just another ex or just another girlfriend or just another love interest. You are meaty and substantial and weighty and heavy duty. So they see you as more of a serious person, a serious contender, I assume, for their heart of hearts. Like you're someone they could have a serious type of relationship with, and maybe they already have if they're your ex, or maybe they didn't, because again, there is a bit of energy here with the playfulness that maybe they didn't take things seriously enough or something. But anyway, let's continue. See how else they're feeling about you. We have inconstancy, gifts. Ooh, and the blue card, which has nothing on it, as you can see, but it is very special. Group 1. Let me see what's on the bottom of the deck here. Oh, and we have friendly thoughts. Okay. So from this here, you know, I don't think the person is meaning you certainly any harm. Though they definitely want to get in the middle of whatever might be going on, they think somehow might be going on between you and somebody else. They actually see your value, that you are a high value individual, and that they would be so lucky to have you in their life. Here I'm drawn to these two cards here together, where you've got gifts, and this king here looking at a what is that? That's some kind of chest, a chest full of, looks like gold. So your person definitely sees that you are special and someone they value very highly, that you have a lot to offer. I mean, good substantial stuff. Like I said, you're meaty and you're weighty and you're heavy duty. I didn't talk too much about the cold-blooded other than talk about the reptilian element. But it could be that the person, again, is feeling like you're just not that bothered like they are, you know, with the situation. So, yeah, that stings, no doubt, for them, that you could just maybe appear to them as though you just don't really care that much about them or any of that stuff, whatever happened in the past between you and them, whatever it was leading up to in their mind, or not. I don't know if you've ever been with this person. Like I said, we get a lot of X energy here. But yeah, the blue card is very much indicating that this person really feels like you are something special, and that they would be incredibly fortunate to be with you. Now, I do have to address, though, this inconstancy card. It seems to me like this person kind of wavers in their mind, and it probably has to do with this, you know, a sense that on the one hand, you are a high value person, but on the other hand, that somehow you could be, I don't want to say hazardous to their health, but like that there's some kind of threat here. You know, like we're talking about here with this witch. I mean, you got this power over them that scares them and gives them a certain double-mindedness about you. You know, there's a sense like, it's like a moth to the flame. Oh, okay, there's another song there. Janet Jackson, That's the Way Love Goes. Interesting, option 1. I'm going to take note of that too, and I'll include a link in the description box, so if you want to go check that song out, you can too, if you don't know what that song is. Okay, let me see now. Let's move on to the third and final row of cards here. So we have oysters. People are always prying into their lives. There we go. Okay, so your person, we already kind of touched on this. I mean, like, they see or suspect that there's someone else, and so they very much want to find out more, and they very much want to interrupt it. They want to pry into your life. They want to be all up in your business so they can figure out how to get to you, and just as importantly, get this other person that they either know to be there or that they imagine to be there out of the way, out of the running. See, we also have crossroads, child, and key. Let me see what's on the bottom of this deck. We have the scythe. Okay, so yes, I'm still here. I'm just thinking. Okay, we got another card here of a sense of wavering. It seems your person doesn't quite know what to do. Remember I mentioned earlier that there was a childish energy? Well, here we go. Because we got the child, like literally the child card comes out. So there's some immaturity here. Your person is trying to figure out, you know, what course of action to take towards you, but it seems that the course of action is one that's, well, as I said, like immature. You know, like instead of addressing the real issue, which is their deep feelings for you, they seem to want to play around the edges, you know, like, I don't know, like drop a water balloon on you as you know, walk through the door or something, or I don't know. It's very strange, considering how strongly they feel, how deep, you know, the feelings are. But yeah, maybe it's just born of their fear. Maybe that's why they can't quite seem to figure out how to proceed in a way that they think will be effective, because maybe there's a part of them that actually knows that doing something silly or childish really ain't it. You know, it's not going to make the kind of difference that they want their actions to make towards you. But okay, group 1, that is your reading. I'm going to leave it here. So thank you very much for joining me. And until next time, goodbye. Now I'm going to move on to our next pile, our next option, I should say. Okay, so for those of you who chose Goldilocks from Goldilocks and the Three Bears, this will be your reading. Okay, so first of all, I am going to shuffle and lay the cards out before I start the reading. So if you'd like to skip this part, you can go down to the description box where I will have a link for you to go directly to the reading part of this reading. Otherwise, you can stay and watch me shuffle if that's soothing and relaxing to you. Okay, option 2 for those who chose Goldilocks from Goldilocks and the Three Bears, this will be your reading. So Goldilocks and the Three Bears is probably a fairy tale you already know, probably, but let me see if I can summarize it quickly in case you don't. So Goldilocks is a young girl who for some reason is wandering through the forest one day when she comes upon an empty house. It's a house, as it turns out, that belongs to a family of bears. There's a mama bear, a daddy bear, and a baby bear. Now, mama bear, daddy bear, and baby bear are not at home at the time when Goldilocks comes to their house, their empty house, because they cooked some porridge, but the porridge was too hot and they decided to let it cool off for a while and figured, well, hey, we can go for a walk in the meantime. So they're out walking, waiting for their porridge to cool off. And Goldilocks comes in to this empty house and discovers first the porridge, and then she tries to sit down at their table. She ends up breaking one of the chairs, which is not very nice, but anyway, she makes her way to the bedroom, and this is after she has actually eaten an entire bowl of porridge, by the way. So she tries out Mama Bear's bed, Daddy Bear's bed, and Baby Bear's bed, and she settles on Baby Bear's bed. Just as she actually ate Baby Bear's porridge too. Now I'm thinking about it. But anyway, so she curls up on Baby Bear's bed and falls asleep. Now this is in these strangers' house. So I don't know where her parents are. I don't know why she's in the forest. I don't know why. I don't know. But this is how the story goes. So at this juncture in the story here depicted on this card, we have our Goldilocks here, who, by the way, does not have golden locks in this. That's kind of interesting. She looks more like she's got auburn hair, don't you think? But anyway, she's fast asleep on Baby Bear's bed. So what does that have to do with how your person is feeling about you? This actually is representing your person. So your person is Goldilocks. Whether your person is male or female, it doesn't matter. But they're in the energy of this Goldilocks, who is, as I said, fast asleep in some stranger's house, and she doesn't even know who the house belongs to, or I don't know. It's the story that doesn't make a lot of sense, really. I mean, on multiple levels, but your person seems to be kind of asleep to reality with regard to you. It could be that they're taking some kind of break from you, that they're not facing something. So this would either be like a person who's not in communication with you, or someone who is, but who's kind of like AWOL, neglectful, not really showing up, if you know what I mean. So let's look at some more cards here and see what else we can find out about how they're currently feeling about you. So we have clowns. They would be really funny if they weren't so darn scary. I wonder if this is going to be kind of like option 1's reading, but stay with me here. I'll let you know if it's worth your time to go back and look at option 1, if it's similar enough. But here we have someone who is afraid. They are not maybe showing up as they should because they're afraid. And they're afraid of something that isn't supposed to be scary. You know, clowns are not supposed to be scary, even though I do know that there are people who are afraid of clowns. And I actually have an old friend who was very afraid of clowns. Something we used to kind of joke about, actually. But yeah, your person is afraid to show up in your relationship at this time, in your connection at this time. They're afraid to come forward and interact with you meaningfully. They might be physically there, but again, emotionally, mentally, there's something going on where they're not fully present and they're not fully engaged. And it has to do with an underlying fear that they have. Let's see what else we can find out. Let's see, we also have the Thief, the Widower, and Joy of the Heart. Let me see what's on the bottom of this deck here. Oh, Love. Okay, it seems that what your person is afraid of here, option 2, is that they will lose you. They're afraid that they're not good enough some way. They may feel that they don't have enough money, or they don't have a good enough job or career status, or even just social status. Maybe they're coming from don't want to say the wrong side of the tracks, because I don't believe there is a wrong side, but contextually, they may be coming from a different place than you as far as their background is concerned, their socioeconomic background, their cultural background, what have you, educational background. They feel like they're maybe not good enough. They're afraid that they're not good enough. But the thing is that this person is lonely. They're lonely for you. I don't know if they're lonely in general, but there's definitely an air of sadness here despite an actual rather bright card. And I think the bright card here, Joy of the Heart, has more to do with how they feel when they're with you. That you help them to look on the bright side of life. Now, there is a feeling of like romance here, that they have a romantic feeling for you here. It's love and affection of a romantic nature. I don't know whether they are quote unquote in love with you, but there's definitely a feeling of falling in love. So here I want to draw your attention to this card, which actually in this depiction has 4 people, so it's not maybe quite as bad, but I shouldn't say bad, but this card always reminds me of triangulation, because here we have this one woman here in the center. I wish these cards would focus. There we go. This one woman in the center who's dancing between 2 men, as you can see, like she's gazing at one man while another man is holding her hand on the other side. Now you got this other gal here on the right here. I don't know what to say about her other than that her perhaps the man she's holding hands with is more interested in this gal over here to the left, which is again giving me more so triangulation vibes, but it's it's 2 overlapping triangles, so this is kind of complicated. I wonder if this is some kind of situation in which both of you are spoken for. Maybe both of you have some other involvement, and so this is kind of sort of inappropriate, quote unquote, or perhaps scary to your person, because of, again, the uncertainty. There's more than one thing for them to be uncertain to, and it's also overwhelming and it's so scary, like a clown would be to people who are afraid of clowns. So instead of doing something about it, they just fall asleep, rather inappropriately, I would say, because this is not a situation that would probably be helped by ignoring it, and yet I get more of the sense that that's what your person is doing, even though there are real romantic feelings here. Let's continue. So we also have shining, bright, radiant, and brilliant. And on the flip side here, we've got billowy. Oh, let's see this. There we go. Surging, swelling, puffy. Can't ever get this to like focus and stay focused. There we go. Okay, but the card was turned this way. Shining, bright, radiant, brilliant. So this person is seeing your radiance. And again, this is probably intimidating to them and making them feel like they're not good enough. They're not up to snuff here, as it were. That you might come to reject them. And there's such a purity of feeling here that this person would perhaps be really hurt by that. This is not, I don't think, a person who is necessarily battle hardened in the game of love, or at least when it comes to you. they don't feel like they've got the protective armor, if you will. Let's see. So we also have result. Goodwill. And grace. And what's at the bottom of this deck here? Oh, yeah, okay. Water. Okay, so again, there's a sense that you are bright and shining and radiant. And look at this here, the laurel. If you're familiar with the laurel headdress, this is something that was used in ancient times. I think maybe ancient Rome or somewhere. And this was a crown that was put on the winner, I believe. Winners in general, like maybe they're successful in battle, or they're athletes playing in one of the, I guess, original Olympic Games, and they get this laurel crown put on them. And here there's a rose there too, which is indicating beauty. So this person sees your shining, radiant beauty. And we also, interestingly, have the astrological symbol of the sun here. So that, again, has everything to do with the bright and overpowering light of, well, you know, the center of our solar system that everything else revolves around. So this person is seeing you definitely in a very high light. But what that means in comparison to them is that they're just not, you know, feeling like they're necessarily on your level. And they feel like you have been this great blessing to them that's just kind of like the universe has just said, ta-da, you know, and just given you to them, or put you into their life for them to know that such a person exists, that maybe there's some hope or chance that they could be with someone as wonderful as you. And yet, as I said, they just don't know quite what to do or how to feel because of their own limiting beliefs. But again, this card here, the water card, again, is speaking of deep emotion that they do have for you. Let's continue though. So now here we have Granny Panties. I feel like this came out in another reading. Did this come out in another reading? I feel I've seen it, but okay. Anyway, let me see if I can get this to focus. That would be great. There's a reason. Come on. There's a reason they're called unmentionables. Okay, so I return to something I was talking about before. I think I said, is there something here forbidden, taboo, inappropriate, quote unquote, about this situation, and why they feel like there's so much daylight between where you are and where they are in life, status-wise, or in some other category. The Granny Panties here is, actually, it makes me think of an age gap, potentially. It's certainly some kind of gap in, I would say, experience, perhaps. This person maybe, when it comes to intimacy, feels like they had better bring an A game that perhaps they're afraid they don't really have. Because again, they see you as this amazing creature who is perfect in every way. Oh, sorry about that, and I can't do anything about it, and I don't edit my videos. And oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to cut this though. This will go up on YouTube. I'm very, 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 very sorry. I wish I need to figure out some kind of way to prevent that from happening. That's a house phone. I live with someone else, so I can't really control. You know, I'd have to like cut off their connection to the outside world, and I don't want to do that because that's ugly and kind of rude. So please bear with me, gentle watcher, gentle viewer. But anyway, as I was saying, I think that the ring though was kind of an omen. It feels like it was punctuating what I was saying. That yeah, this person just doesn't feel good enough. They have anxieties of various types, even down to performance anxiety. So again, what do? They're just so stressed that they just fall asleep. They just don't do anything. But let's continue. So we also have here anchor, letter, and heart. Can I get this in the frame? Yes, yes. Let me see what's on the bottom of this deck. We have the gentleman. All right. So I'm going to guess here that is your person. Whether you're dealing with male or female, this card is coming through with masculine energy here. So take that as you will. It's kind of interesting though, because masculine energy is not really what I'm seeing here. Like I don't see a yang, fiery, going for what you want, arrow to the target kind of quote unquote masculine energy here. I mean, but here we go though. I mean, the masculine is showing up. So anyway, this maybe speaks to the frustration, or rather the irony of it, really, because this person here we're getting kind of a sense that this is a masculine energy we're dealing with, and yet, as I told you at the beginning, this is your person showing up in the energy of a feminine individual. So again, more yin, more, well, I'm just gonna let, I don't know, things overtake me or whatever, and just go with the flow instead of being like active and initiating. But your person here, it seems, they're stuck. They're stuck because they don't, I think, have the confidence here at this time. Hopefully it will change, and we don't know because that's not the question we're asking here. We're just asking how they're currently feeling about you. The good news is that, you know, their stuck energy can change, and if they really do have this deep emotion for you, hopefully by God's grace or the empowerment of the universe, or however you want to say it in spiritual terms, this person will get up the gumption to come towards you. You know how they really feel or what they really want here. But it looks like, though, they are thinking about maybe writing it down in a letter. Writing down how they feel. And with the heart here, there is, again, as I was saying before, with this card, I mean, there's a lot of, let me say, love and affection here. You know, you got, well, let me see, there we go. This is amore, and this is heart. So, amore means love in Italian, in case you didn't know. But, yeah, so this is where things stand right now in your person's feelings for you. I'm going to leave it here, group 2. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to move on now to our next reading. Okay, so group 3, if you chose this picture of the weavers slash tailors from the Emperor's New Clothes, this will be your reading. So I am going to shuffle and lay down all the cards first before I start talking. If you like to see shuffling, you can stick around here and watch. If you don't like to see shuffling or just don't want to spend the time doing that, then you can go down to the description box and you can always try to point. It's funny because of the way the camera is. Go down to the description box. There we go. And find a link that'll take you directly to the actual beginning of the reading part of the reading. But let me go ahead and lay these cards down. All right, so for those of you who chose group 3, the weavers or tailors from the Emperor's New Clothes, this will be your reading. And again, today we're answering the question, how is the person on your mind currently feeling about you? So you chose an interesting image, which I'll get into in a second. Let me recap, hopefully briefly, what the Emperor's New Clothes is about. It's a fairy tale about an emperor who's very grand and very fashion conscious, and he loves wearing fine clothes and, let's say, prancing around. He enjoys prancing around the kingdom or the whatever you call it when there's an emperor. What do you call that? The empire. He likes to prance around the empire, wearing all his finery and showing off his fashion sense. So he's pretty well known for this. And so a couple of scammers come to town one day and tell the emperor, hey, we are the most excellent weavers in existence, and we are here at the pleasure of your highness to create the most fantastic outfit you have ever experienced. And of course that piques the emperor's curiosity. So he agrees to let them design this wonderful garment. But here's the thing, they tell him that they use this special fabric that is so rarefied that stupid people cannot even see the fabric with their eyes. Stupid people and incompetent people cannot understand the glory that is this fantastic fabric that we use. And so the emperor is like, okay, sounds awesome to me, so let's get sewing. And so the scammers, who are calling themselves weavers, and who in this picture look like they're doing something having to do with tailoring, actually. These two scammers basically go to work pretending to make a garment out of this fantastical, invisible to stupid people material. Now, of course, the reality is that there is no fabric, and it's just all made up. They're scamming. But the king doesn't want to look stupid. And all the king's men, the emperor. That's right, this is about an emperor. The emperor doesn't want to look stupid, and the emperor's staffers don't want to be judged incompetent. So they all go along with this scam that there is a wonderful garment being made by these two scammers for the emperor. So after they finish pretending like they are making a real garment, they then proceed to put the fake garment onto the emperor, who cannot see it and who cannot even feel that there's any fabric against his skin, and yet he goes along with this scam. And lo and behold, he goes out into the empire, and all these people, the, empire people out there, they're like, oh my goodness, it's so awesome, it's so wonderful, it's so rarefied, oh, beautiful and stunning and wonderful. They're giving him rave reviews on this garment, when in reality, the emperor is walking around naked. So finally, a small child sees the emperor prancing around and says, hey, that guy doesn't have any clothes on. And this sort of, it breaks the spell that everybody is under. Out of the mouths of babes comes the truth. And so everybody realizes, oh my goodness, the emperor really is naked. We thought it was just us who couldn't see the rarefied fabric. So anyway, that is the Emperor's New Clothes story. So this card is actually, unfortunately, showing a couple of scammers. And I hope that your person is not scamming you. That's not actually what I think this is going to end up telling us. I think what could be going on here regarding your person's feelings for you is that they want to impress you, but they've kind of maybe bitten off more than they can chew, because maybe they are exaggerating about what they've got going on. You know, like they want you to think they're amazing, but they know that they're not so amazing, and yet they really just want to impress you. So I hope that it's a benign situation like that. We will see as the cards, get flipped over, whether we're dealing with a real actual scammer here, but I feel like not. I feel like this is more so someone who's just telling you tall tales or making promises they can't keep. And they're aware of that, but they are playing the part to the hilt, perhaps. Like maybe they're not giving you any indication outwardly that it's the things aren't as they say with them. So let's see what the cards here laid out have to tell us about this situation. Okay, so our first card here is the future. Always in motion is the future, according to Yoda. Interesting. I talked about how the scammers here, calling themselves weavers / tailors, boasted that they had the most amazing fabric in the world ever. And here we got this card dealing with the future, and we've got Yoda from Star Wars, which is a futuristic story. So maybe your person has been making claims about the future, about your future perhaps together, or about their own future, like what they've got planned for themselves, what they're aspiring to, and what moves they're making in the now to reach that goal. Maybe they're exaggerating about how far they've actually gotten with their plans. I don't know. But here we have always in motion is the future. So there's a sense that maybe the story changes, and the story might keep on changing in order to make the person look better or explain why there is an apparent lack of progress. But let's see what else the cards have to say. So we have the letter. Let's see if you can see that. There you go. Joyfulness. And constancy. Let me see. Oopsie. What's on the bottom of this deck? Huh. Okay, playfulness. Alright, so this came out in this position, that card. I believe it was group 1. Don't know whether group 1 will resonate with you or not. I will mention group 1 again if I feel like there's more that this group has in common with it as we go on. But yes, so this person, it seems like they want to write to you. And again, I mean, it looks like they're hyping something up. Something that makes them look grand. Something that shows their accomplishments. How maybe they have bootstrapped it even, how they have, started with maybe only 2 pennies to rub together, and yet they've done this amazing, I was going to say trick, but they have done this amazing work that has led them to some great success. or great initial success. But I don't feel like if that is the case, I don't know that this is a story you can believe in 100%. I mean, like if they're telling you something like that, yeah, I don't know, based on what else we've already talked about. I don't know. There is an energy here of it's kind of strange, right? To me, that there's, I almost want to say that this person is pretending to have gravitas, pretending to be serious, and pretending to be, some kind of heavyweight, as it were, but they're not. They're just pretending. I don't know if this has to do with, career or something like that. We'll see. We'll see if something else comes through the cards. So let's continue here. All right. So next up we have pointed, sharp, keen, cutting. And let me look at the opposite here. Explosive. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus. There we go. Blasting, bursting, dangerous. Okay, I think they just might be concerned that if you were to find out that they're not totally for real with what they're telling you, that you might have a bad reaction. You might be rather unkind. You might wound them emotionally. If you say bad things about their, fakery. Their fakery. Interesting. Yeah, they think you might have a rather bad reaction to this. I mean, and you'll tell them so if you find out that, they're not totally for real, like I said, in some way. But let's continue. See, we have fire. News. And beauty. Let's see what's at the bottom of this deck. We have interference. Okay, we sure got a lot of birds here. And birds, let me see. So, I mean, maybe everybody doesn't consider a chicken to be a bird, but they are, I think. They are, right? Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're birds. So you got these chickens here, which actually may be fighting cocks, by the way. But anyway, we got them, and then we got this bird here, looks like a pigeon holding an envelope. And then we got these three birds over here, and I don't know what kind they are. They're like exotic or something like that. I don't know if they're toucans or minor birds or is there another bird that can speak, can like mimic human voices? Yeah, well, anyway, so I was going to say, though, that all the birds here are indicating communication. So, and with the fighting cocks here, it certainly does seem that this person sees you as somebody who can go toe-to-toe with them or maybe anybody else. This card, the interference here, usually I tend to think of it as like third-party interference or somebody like butting in. It's not their business. Two people are interacting, like the two birds, and then this third bird. Where in the world they come from, I don't know. Why are they here? Why are they bothering them? And yet they do. It's kind of like when you're out. Oh, this is good. Like you're on social media and you're having, a back and forth with someone, and then somebody out of nowhere just joins in, like, and you're like, well, I wasn't talking to you, and the person I was talking to wasn't talking to you either. Well, why are you here? Well, it's social media, so that's just how it is. Like, ha ha ha, we can, do that. Um, but yeah, it's kind of like that, and it's interesting I mentioned social media because we also, we got this bird here with the letter, and we got the other card over here with the letter, and I am kind of sort of getting the sense that maybe this has something to do with social media. um, I don't know if they have seen you go off on somebody on social media or get somebody told, or just been very assertive and communicative in a very effective way. But if they've seen that, actually, I mean, they don't think that's unattractive. They actually think that that's a beautiful trait of yours. So it seems that not only do they want to maybe write to you, but they want to hear back from you. And to them, it's very exciting to interact with you. It looks like maybe in writing. So I don't know if you write this person, if you send them messages on some kind of, social media platform. But they like that interaction, and they like that you're kind of, well, spicy. They like that, but at the same time, as I was telling you, I think they kind of fear feeling your wrath should you find out that they're not all that they're portraying themselves to be. But let's continue. So now here we have Ellen DeGeneres. See if I can, one of these days. 1958 to present, comedian, actress, and talk show host. She was also the voice of Dory in Finding Nemo. Remember? No, I don't. I actually never saw Finding Nemo, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to speak to that. So if anybody else watching, though, has an idea of what in the world Dory from Finding Nemo might possibly have to do with your reading here, please enlighten us down in the comments. But anyway, so Ellen DeGeneres is a comedian, actress, and talk show host. And we were already talking about social media. We were not exactly saying that your person was putting on a show, but there is kind of that energy there, I suppose. I mean, what with the fakery and the scamming. I don't want to say they're actual scammers, though. So, but yeah, like I said, they're misrepresenting some kind of way. Maybe they're just someone who likes to exaggerate. But yeah, actress and talk show host, entertainers, basically, or these are roles that one would play in the entertainment industry. And so maybe your person thinks that you are entertaining, but I think more so that this reading overall is trending towards their desire to entertain you and tell you these stories, tell you about these things going on that I don't know. I mean, they could be based on a true story, but they're, I don't know, certain details have been changed and played up and altered, in order to drive the plot in a certain direction with you. Let's see what else we got. So we have the ship, the cross, and the lady. Let me see what's at the bottom of this deck. We have the fish. Okay, this person feels like, yeah, maybe they've kind of gone out on a limb with some of the things they've told you, and they are worried, things coming back to bite them in this regard. But they also maybe feel like they really don't want to disappoint you by maybe admitting these things. They feel like if you were to find out, that you would be really distressed. That they aren't all that they say, or they're not doing all that they say that they're doing. So they do care what you think. As I said, they feel that they'd be very hurt, if you were to give them perhaps a tongue lashing that, well, let's be real here, maybe they kind of deserve if they're like making up stuff and telling you stuff that's not so. I mean, let me keep my opinion to myself. I was going to say, who does that? But I guess a lot of people do that, especially when they're trying to impress someone. And this person is indeed trying to impress you. So how they feel about you is that they want to impress you, but they're also afraid of your reaction should you find out that they like to pad the truth. I'm not altogether sure, though, Group 3, that this is, I don't think that this person is a true scammer, or at least I hope not. I'm not getting that sense off of the cards. It's just somebody who wants to be seen as someone great. A song that's coming to my mind here is, I believe the name of it is Back in the High Life. I will put a note down to link that song in the description if you're interested in listening or finding out what the lyrics say. But it's by Steve Winwood, and it kind of talks about somebody who wants to be in the spotlight. So go check that out if you're so inclined. It might give you some insight into your person and their psychology. All right, Group 3, this is your reading. This is how your person is currently feeling about you. Thank you very much for joining me, and until next time, goodbye.